Hi everyone, Zaras here with you for this new video. What I want to do here is give a second example of how to play Alchemist, so a second sample game, following again the ultimate guide to Alchemist. So if you haven't seen the ultimate guide to Alchemist, go check that first. This is intended as kind of an example of the different principles that I've shown there, and that's the second game I gave as an example. So we have here an interesting setup. You see, so I've skipped the auction for gaining some time. You see that Witches has been bidded very, very low, and the reason for that is that it's the only faction without color opposition. You see that we have yellow, brown, and black, and Witches has no color opposition, so they are very strong. And on the opposite, cultists are really weak here because they are sandwiched between nomads and alchemists. And this sandwich, I mean, cultists in the sandwich against Darkling can get away with sometimes, but against alchemists it's really, really bad, because what will happen is that alchemists will often in round one cut off any possibility for cultists for northern expansion. So that makes it very hard for cultists, and that's why they were at 30. Even if cultists is usually a strong faction here, color opposition is the most important things, and it's really not good for cultists. As for Alchemist here, it's not an ideal track for Alchemist. It's not an ideal setup for them. You see, you have dwellings in the last round. It's not your ideal event, but it's okay, as we've seen. You often end up doing a lot of trading posts in round 6, meaning that you'll have some dwelling to build. So that's not too bad. Spade, again, the town event, you prefer it in round 6, and you can exploit it much more in round 6. But in round 5, it's not bad either. And Sanctuary, Stronghold in round 4, you would prefer it in round 3, but round 4 is still alright. It's still in the kind of area where we want to build it. We have, as you see, double event here, a Stronghold Sanctuary event. So, meaning that we can build maybe the Stronghold here, or we can delay it to round 4, depending on how we feel at the time. What else to consider? With Alchemist, you always want to consider bonus. Often, maybe I haven't emphasized this enough. When you play Alchemist, of course Alchemist will kind of excel in a low coin game, but here you see there's a lot of coins, but and there's at least 2 scoring bonus. Ideally there will be the 3 of them. Like, there is missing the pass shipping, and that's often very important for Alchemists, so that's an ideal setup, but not too bad. We have at least 2. It's much more important to have scoring bonus than to have a low coin setup, actually, for Alchemist. So the fact that there's, if, say, rather than the worker and the 3 power, we had the pass shipping bonus, I would say those are excellent bonus for Alchemist, even if it's a rich coin bonus setup. What you really want to is passing scoring bonus. So yeah, and we have also the priest here, which we are second, so we cannot know for sure that we'll get it, but if we can get it, it's a good start for us, and there's a good chance that people will take the spade and the worker 3 power, so we have a good opportunity. The odds are good that we'll get the priest to do our little shipping start. So yeah, this won't be like your typical ideal Alchemist game, but it's interesting also to consider Alchemists in suboptimal setup, how they can do. Here we will start at this starting point, because starting spot, because there's cultists and nomads in the game, so if we don't start here we will lose this spot. but sooner or later we'll ship here, and maybe have the intention of doing a town here if it's available. On the eastern island, since both nomads and cultists are there, probably the possibility to connect this way will be very hard, so it's more natural to start here in order to connect, but still means that connection will be hard. I remember that's why I hesitated to take Alchemists in this game. I was afraid that I will have a hard time to connect, especially if nomads decide to start here, say. Good that he will not in this game. It will have made things much more. It's not a very good starting spot for him, but if he wanted to block us, that will be where he will go. But that will be really a blocking move. So without further comment, we can jump in and see where it goes. So we start here. We want again to protect this hex, and here planning to connect this way. As you see, the spade and the worker power bonus were taken as predicted, so we can take the priest here. The plan for round 1 is the usual plan here. We want to do a temple, get Earth 1, advance shipping twice, and build those two in these two spots. So that was the plan I was intending to do. As you'll see in the game, the plan will evolve a little bit, opportunity will come up, and that's interesting too to consider. So up to now everything went normal, but then cultists jump on the spade, and everyone else went for Earth 1 after me. So cultist doesn't have here the power to do for the double spade now, meaning that the double spade is available. And that made me thought that I could do something a little different in this game. Since double spade is available, if I use the double spade here, I still build 2 dwellings, just as in the shipping start, but I keep the priest for now, and I have the opportunity to send the priest to water because it's a water event here. The water event will give me back the priest. Usually I will be really reluctant to send a priest in the call track early on with Alchemists because priests are extremely precious to advanced shipping. The only reason I did it there was that I was getting the priest back in round 2. So that's what I decided to do here. Go with the double spade and build here first and then there. So nomad uses spade, cultists continue to build, and we get the priest in the water as we wanted. Let's just chose to hard dig this one. Probably was afraid that I will steal that from him, but that's good for us. It gives us power early on. So we got our 2 dwelling built. We didn't advance shipping yet, but when I decided, so I pass here. And as you may start to understand, passing bonus for Alchemists are extremely important. All the passing play is very important too. I have some example of that in this game. Here, and here's a reason why. Like here, this bonus 3 coin, it's pretty good because if you think about it, it's a bit like coins for Alchemists are like points and vice versa. So you get 3 coins here, meaning that you won't have to use your ability 3 times. But you also get points for all the dwelling you'll have down on the map, and here I think we'll end up with 6. So you get 6 points for the dwellings and 3 points for the coins. It's like having a 9 coin bonus in a way. It's like if you compare it to the 6 coin, the 6 coin bonus is usually very good for all faction. For Alchemists, it's like if this bonus was worth 9 coin, meaning that's very strong. Kind of explain why you really want it in the game. So of course that's the bonus I get, and once I got this bonus, I knew that there was not a chance I will go Stronghold here. The idea will be to use our 2 priests to advance shipping to convert as many victory point to coin as we need, and build 3 dwelling in order to build our dwelling economy. So that's the plan for round 2. As you see, advanced shipping, so witches continuous expansion. However, as you see, cultist is so, you have to understand that cultist here is so in a difficult spot that I think he didn't know what to do, how to expand. I mean, almost everywhere is block. So that's why I think he went for this hex, which was very bad for witches in this game. And sometimes witches started solo, it really harmed the game. So, plan is complete, we passed last, and we passed just after nomads, and we have here an interesting choice. Usually you want to pass a bonus that gives you victory points, but here I thought there was an interesting opportunity to do something different. The thing is, if you pass for this one, you don't have any of the building up, so maybe you build them, and we have probably enough to build them. However, we're a bit out of timing for the round 4 event. The big building bonus is next turn. So what I thought I could do was to pass for this bonus, intending to have a very fast round, to just do like one thing, and to do like as little as few move as I can in round 3 and pass as fast as I can for this bonus, and then we can double up, do both Sanctuary and Stronghold this turn, the next turn I mean, having 4 points for each out of the bonus, so 8 points, and 10 points on the track. So that was the reason why I didn't go for the Stronghold bonus here. So get the spade. Everyone is trying to do the trading post bonus. That's another feeder here. The thing is, the trading post event here for us is not very significant. It's because we don't want any trading post up. We want to have an economy based on dwellings and workers income. So it's kind of a joke around. What it means is it's kind of joke around for us. We can do whatever we want and don't have to listen to what the track is telling us to do. So one of a possibility would have been to build, again, to pass for this bonus and build both big buildings in round 3 since it's a Joker event. But since there is the big building event, I decided to rather take the spade and have a lightning round. Just do one thing here, building this dwelling, and passed for next turn straight up for the bonus and have a big round 4. So Cultist went for a very fast down. He probably knows that the only thing he can count on in this game is called, and it's probably a good idea to focus on them. So again, we just did one move and we pass, and look at that, we still have 7 workers in our bank. We'll get 2 from the bonus, and we get max income of workers here. That's exactly what you want as Alchemist early on. So, and I'd say almost all game. So 8 workers here, 7 workers here for 15 workers, and 2 more there for 17 workers. It's a huge amount of work. And you'll see how many workers we are left for at the end of next round. I mean, all these workers will be put to use in the end. So, battle between cultists and witches continues. Witches thought he had a good deal because there was no color opposition, but in this game he was unlucky to have battle that kept going with cultists. So the plan here, we start with the sanctuary, get water 1, which is again not as important as earth 1, but very important for alchemists. And with water 1 we intend to then go on building our stronghold. So 4 workers gone from this, and 6 more workers will get into the stronghold here. So water 1, get our trading post up for preparing for our stronghold. The reason why I decided to do it here, as you see, Nomad kind of block our idea of doing a town here. So we have to find a third town spot, another third town spot. Middle is not really available, so I thought we will have to be a bit more creative here. It often ends up your backup plan with Alchemists or Darklings, so we'll try to do a town this way if it's available. If it's not, maybe this way. However, here, yeah, I forgot to mention that if you rewind the video, you'll see I had 6 power in bowl 3 and before building this stronghold, and I was so focused on the plan, I think I made a mistake. I forgot to convert before. So stronghold gives you 12 powers, meaning that from these 12 power I lost 11. I could have done here a conversion of 6 power to 6 coin at the minimum. It would have mean for me getting 6 more points in the end of the game, so we'll have to remember that when we'll see the final score. So very big mistake here. I don't know what I was thinking. So yeah, those things happens. At least in the game I realized it straight away, but didn't let it affect me. I still felt that I had a pretty strong game then. Alright, so we have both our big buildings up. Next time, what do we want to do? It's time to take the landscape, because we are in a position to use it for both our technologies, and we want to finish advancing our technology by the end of this round. So landscape time here. Use the spade to put it down, and use 2 workers to advance digging. Next thing, I did advanced digging again. So now our technology are up. And again, the way I think I should explain that a little bit, I'll come back onto the delaying strategy here. The idea is, like, you see how much points we've sacrificed with in this round for both our big building to get them up and to get up both our technology. I mean, we started with, I think, 0 coin, literally. So all our expenses were covered by conversion, especially since I forgot to convert when I built the stronghold. So that's 9 coins for trading post stronghold, 6 more coins for the sanctuary, and 12 coins for advancing digging, and 4 more coins for advancing shipping. That was hugely expensive round, but then you can see that we got 5 points for the sanctuary, 3 points for the trading post, and 5 points for the stronghold. So in the end, it's kind of like, just if we consider just these buildings, it only cost us 2 points to put them up. And same thing can be said about technology here. It cost us 5 points to get the coins to advance them, but we had a reward of 6 points, so we made a profit of 1 point. We kind of paid 1 point for the stronghold and the sanctuary, but we got them back. The 2 points we paid, we got them back with advancing digging. So we are on par. So what's the interest of doing all this? Well, bonus points. We'll get 8 points from of profit through bonus, and that's why bonus. That's another reason why, or another way to see it, why bonus are so important for alchemists. That's always almost how I see them. That favor pays for the cost of buildings. Whether, like, if you take, it's another good example was in round 2 where we build many dwellings, and all dwellings, it wasn't a dwelling round, so all dwellings we had to sacrifice 2 victory points to get coins, but we got 2 points back from every dwelling we built. And how did we score? We score by making a profit out of the bonus card. So we had 6 dwelling down at the end, and we ended up par. It ended up equal with the dwellings the point we spend and the point we win through favor, and we made a profit out of the bonus. And that's usually how you want to play. So here I went for the priest action. You'll see that I don't intend at all to use this priest on the cult track here. I intend to use it as a worker. And that will be another example of Alchemists play here. That they should really not hesitate to transform priest into worker, but also that Alchemists should really base their play on bonus on bonus decision. Here, the bonus I want is the bonus that nomads have. I know that nomad is not done because I still have some resources. So I was, well, maybe we'll pass next turn, or maybe we'll do a trading post or something. So or temple. So I thought better to delay as much as I can and hope that I can pass for this bonus. Actually, unfortunately, nomad will pass straight up, and cultist will jump on this bonus, so it won't work. Meaning that I have the rest of the round for myself to do whatever I want. So I finished building all my dwellings up, and now that we have all our dwelling down, we want to start worrying about scoring. And that's when, like, trading posts start to be an interesting building, because then they don't cost you any income, they just give you a kind of point income. So here my hope for scoring in the track were not very high, and I thought that getting a 2 points income every round will be better than any income I can get from any scoring I can get from the priest track, especially since I want to carry on building work dwellings, so I need to make room anyway. So I decided to use these 2 priests as worker. And again, as alchemist, it's something that you should not hesitate to do if you feel the need to. Once your technology are up, that is, of course. As long as your technology are not up, you want to use your priests to advance them. But once your technologies are up, then you often will be better to use priests as worker. All right, so you see, that's actually funny too. I mean, we started with 17 workers. We were wondering if we will be able to use them all. We actually used them all, the 17 of them, and even lacked some worker to the point, like missed some worker to the point that we had to use priest as worker. So just another example of the idiosyncrasy of alchemists here. So we pass, we make our profit. That's the profit we wanted to do out of the bonus card. And here I went for the 6 coin because both scoring bonus I could not take. This one I had. This one was taken. And as backup, I thought that this was a good scoring opportunity. So it's like scoring 6 points for alchemists. It's not bad. It's not as good as this one. As we said, this one was like scoring 8 points. So it's strictly better than this one. But as a backup, this one is okay. Alright, so here it's the town round. It's really like the 2 last round is where we really want to score. So we want to, ideally we will want to make 3 towns here. So one is quite obvious here. One is obvious here, but for now it might be hard to do because we have no neighbor. We prefer not to make expensive trading posts because that would be very expensive. So this one we have to delay. And the 3rd town will be this if possible. So we need to dig this hex and we need a bridge. Since no one was looking for a bridge, I thought that I could start by digging this one, so that's what I did, planning to take the bridge next turn. So witches went for fire too. That's something we don't want to miss, but it's a bit like unlikely that cultists will go for it, I think, now. So cut the bridge. And then we go for fire too. So what town do we take? We have 2 towns here. Alchemists almost always will take the priest or the workers. Here I felt that I wanted a strong economy, so I'll go with both workers. But alchemists are all about workers. You want as many as you can, so it's often your go-to town should be workers here. Playing alchemists in general. So both workers down. We start to have some scoring now. And again, you have to remember these 6 points that I lose not converting. So I would have been tempted to pass this for my turn now that I had my 2 towns, because this bonus is really good. Now the bonus I want is this one, and honestly probably I should have passed straight up. I decided to send a priest to the cult track at this point. And as usual with alchemists, that's a mistake. I mean, often that late that will be alright, but here, because this bonus is there and you want to get it as app before anyone else take it, probably was better to pass. So I sent a priest there. I wasn't worried Nomad, because Nomad still needed to do a town, but Witches could have passed here. Actually, as we will see in the game, Witches was planning on doing a town here. So that's why he didn't pass, and he continues to advance his economy. So was a bit lucky there. As you see, I've passed with a lot of resources, but at this point I didn't thought I would have enough neighbor to do this town without expensive trading post. If you do expensive trading post, you kind of lose the bonus here, because it costs you 3 more points to do this town, so it's more expensive. As you see in this round, I'll stop here. In this round we have quite a lot of resources, to the point that, I mean, there's no doubt we will do this town, right? But I had so much resources that I thought, hey, I really can go for 4th town here. So question here become, where do we build it? And the obvious spot is here. That's where you need the less digging to do. However, I decided to go slow about it, because there's no neighbor, so same problem that we used to have here. Now we're fine, we have neighbor and we can just build our town. So meaning that the town will be very expensive to build. So I kind of waited. Maybe, you know, it's possible that Nomad will go there or something, so didn't want... or maybe Cultist will advance is shipping and go there. So I wanted to see how things will go. So let's go to next comment. So continue to with the plan of doing the town here. Getting the 3rd town. And the town I took was the priest town. So again, that's usually the to-go town for alchemist. Priest has the advantage of being a bit more points, and you can still use the priest as a worker if needed. Here I didn't have much hope to get a big score on the cult track. I mean, as you see, I did what I could to attack the cult track late, but in the end you'll just get crumbs. I'll just get crumbs, and that's often what you get as alchemist. That's what you should expect. Of course, when you start using priest as worker, and don't have your 2nd temple until round 5, it's quite expected that it will end up this way and advance all your technology. So yeah. So here, I decided to dig this one because I realize one option, if no neighbor come to this area, it will be more interesting to actually build a fort town in this crescent and do non-expensive trading post there. So that's, and I realized that I had enough resources to do that. So that's why I dig it there. But also I wanted to delay, you know. If you can play when everyone has passed, it's always better. Almost always, except if you kind of race for the cold track. But otherwise, I realized that I had so much more resources than other players that I could just wait them out and not have unpleasant surprise. You know, never know what can happen. You start to do your town there, and Nomad has a random spade, or Witches has built his stronghold, and he drops a dwelling there. So it's kind of safer to have everyone finish playing. Now I know that I can just play on my own and do my little town that's left, the fort town that is left. So if we go to the end of the game, again, right now it's much more like execution. There's not much more to add. I knew that if I managed to will the power that I get from digging with the stronghold, I had enough. I had calculated it. Again, using a priest as a worker. Unfortunately, would have been great if only the 11-point town was remaining, but I was stuck with the 6 points, so not so much point here. But yeah, so there was a lot of town built in this game, unfortunately. So alright, that will be like the end of the game. I'll score with a bonus here. I think it might have a little problem. Oh, what happened there? Just a moment. Well, we missed the points. There was a little bug there, but you see I had 99 points, so I passed for 8, meaning that I passed with 107 points. I got the points for network, 18 points of them, and crumbs on the cult, so 8 points on the cult, and that was kind of what was expected. Just to see, I think that will be buggy too. Just to see how it ended up. Just a second here. So yeah, if we look at the final score, you might think, well, 141 is not that high in the end, but you have to remember 2 things. First, I missed on conversion, so I could have had 6 more points this way. And also I started at 14, so that's 6 less points than the usual starting VP, so that's 12 points. If you add them, I end up with 153, which I think is more representative of how this game went. Then it's interesting to see how points were scored. We did a little better than the other on the scoring event, scoring tiles. Did a lot out of our 2 favor, so Earth 1 and Water 1, combined for 44 points. That's huge. Bonus card is where we really did really well. I think, considering that there was only 2 scoring bonus, we did score quite a lot with them. did 40 ounce, so that was a lot of points too. And advancing technology, of course. Crumbs on the cult and advancing technology, so typical of Alchemist. In the end, we scored 174. So if you want to know how we ended up scoring, how many VP we ended up sacrificing, you can see that you can add 174 plus our starting score, so which was 14, meaning that in the end we would have scored 188 points, but you have to subtract to that 7 points of leech, so we would have scored 181. We did score 141, means that we sacrifice 40 points for with our ability, 40 points to 40 coins. 40 coins that we got through our ability, so it's quite a lot. Right, so yeah, that was the second sample game of how to play Alchemist, the example of the Ultimate Guide, the sample game from the Ultimate Guide of Alchemist. Hope it was useful again, that it helps to more understand the principle from the Ultimate Guide. If you have any question, of course, as usual, don't hesitate to post in the comment. I hope to see you for next stream live. It would be nice. We've changed the schedule, so I've changed the schedule because work is starting again, so very sorry about that. Check the channel page for more, so the Twitch channel page on Zoras_BG to see the new schedule. You'll get it there. Alright, so hope to see you soon, and until then, have fun. Bye.